Eileen the Mastiff channel. We're here today with another Q&A. We've had some more questions on Instagram, and I've also tried to check the comments on here as well to take some questions from here, just because you might not follow us over there. If you do want to follow us over there, we're at Eileen the Mastiff. Make sure you follow us. You get more behind the scenes, daily updates, what Eileen's up to. You can watch her grow. Quite a lot is the answer to that.
Aye.
So
let's get some questions.
So question number one, this is kind of two questions, so we'll do...
Are these for me, for you today?
I think they're kind of for both of us. This is like a two-parter question, and I've not got like a specific question, I'm just asking. So people have been asking how we're managing having two puppies in the house. So obviously, if you don't know, we've got Eileen, who is nearly 12 weeks, and we've got Puppy, who is...
About 5 months now, is she?
I was going to say 6.
5, 6 months, yeah.
5, 6 months. We can't remember because it's not
Time flies.
Yeah, when you count in weeks. You know, when you first have a baby and you're like, he's 18 weeks today. We haven't kept up with that. So, how are we managing two puppies?
2 words for me. Crate training.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah. That is how we're doing it. So obviously, I think some people have experience of like getting 2 puppies from the same litter. Mm-hmm. That obviously isn't what's happened here. So by the time Eileen joined us, Puppy had been with us a good few months and had already got a great foundation level of training, manners, some socialisation, like not loads, but some. And she'd had like Sully, Labrador, like role model dog to follow as well. And then basically what's happened with us is that Puppy has kind of become the role model dog for Eileen, even though she's actually not that much older than her. But everything that Eileen needs to know, Puppy already knows. So that's how we've been managing it. Yeah,
it's superb. And I think when people are like, how do you cope? That tends to be from like, they won't stop playing, they won't stop play fighting, they're chewing things together. Every single one of those more like the negative side of having multiple puppies, crate training. Crate training solves it all. Anytime it comes, put them in the crates. Exercise them, put them in their crates. If you need to go do your hair or have a shower or cook some food and I can't cope, put them in their crates. Controlling a dog's environment at that young age. They're just babies. They have no idea what they should and shouldn't be doing yet. You haven't had the time to teach them those things. Crate training, early crate training from day one, getting them comfortable and to enjoy a crate. The people that say crate training is cruel, it is absolutely nonsense. Again, come hang out with us and watch us open the crate door. Our dogs love going in the crates.
Yeah, they choose to
They take themselves in, they love them. It's their own calm, quiet place that they can take themselves away to, have a sleep, have a relax, get away from the carnage. And if we want to intervene as their leaders, to intervene in the carnage, then they can go back in their crates. And we use things like stuffed Kongs, toys, different things to make it fun in there, but it means that they just can't get up to no good. And then all those worries magically melt away.
I think as well, you have to be willing to accept a certain level of stuff, like they're going to play. Mm-hmm. That is what puppies do. So in some periods, there's no point trying to stop them. It's like allowing them to have the time to do that kind of stuff.
Being proactive with it.
But yeah, being proactive. So if you know you're not going to be in the room, for example, then don't let them do it then. Mm-hmm. It's if you're watching it, if you're monitoring it, if they're outside. So our rule kind of is you can play outside.
I don't like that energy in the home. It's too chaotic. It's quiet, good manners. So if you want to play, we go outside. If you're in the house, then the play stops, you calm down, you take yourself to your crate, or you can lie on one of the beds in the living room, or if we welcome you up, you can come and have a lie on the sofa. But again, it's just putting rules and boundaries and expectations in place that we have discussed long before the dog ever comes into the home, so that we and their family can be consistent with that approach. And it just controls it. Be proactive. Anytime this is an issue, it's because people are being reactive. Something has happened and they're reacting, and it's frustrating. If they'd have been more proactive and set themselves and, more importantly, the dog up for success, then it wouldn't have been a problem. And the best solution for that is to control their environment. The best way to control a dog's environment is through positive, excellent crate training.
I think another great thing is like having a sort of basic schedule.
Yeah.
So with whether it's 1 puppy or 2, then kind of make no odds really. Mm-hmm. It's like we get up in the morning, we go outside. Then we come in, we have breakfast. Then we might take them for a walk when they get a bit older, or like exercise outside. Then they go in the crate.
Proactive.
Then they go for the toilet. Then they have their lunch. It's just like there is like a basic schedule that we follow.
Dogs thrive on consistency and routine. That's why I use that consistent word all the time.
Yeah.
And be proactive with a schedule and consistently and militantly follow through with that. The dog then, that's like a micro thing for this question, but the bigger macro picture to that is that a dog knows that you're reliable and it can trust in you because you're consistent. Consistency is so important for a relationship. That's how you build that relationship, is through consistent leadership.
Yeah, and that's why like they will take themselves to their crate, because they're like, okay, now I know, I'm pretty sure like we've just come in from being outside, now it's chill time. This is what I do when I'm chilling. So
absolutely.
Yeah, whether you've got one puppy or two, I kind of think if you're sticking to a schedule, then it doesn't overly matter.
Preach it.
Okay, I'm looking down at my flashcard. The like second part of that question was about how we're managing in terms of separation, and obviously in our particular case, puppy might not be staying with us. So are we managing Eileen having alone time? Are we worried about that? That's kind of the second part to the question.
I'm just quickly making sure of what I can and can't say before I answer. So, like Rachel said, there's a chance that puppy might not be staying with us. I can't elaborate on that yet. Again,
we're fostering her
at the minute for reasons that we'll explain when we're allowed to explain. But for now, we don't know if she can stay with us or not, and we want her to. But there's a good chance that that decision might be taken out of our hands. No more on that. If that's the case, we are aware that Eileen would find that difficult because they've become so attached. Now, going back to what I just said, because of that, we're being proactive with setting her up for success should that happen. And by doing that, we are putting into the schedule times where Eileen is on her own in her crate. So I will go and take puppy out for a walk every morning, for example, during that time. So they go out and have their play in the garden, they go to the toilet, all that stuff. Then Eileen will go into her crate because that a little bit of exercise wipes her out. I then go for my morning walk with Joe and the team, whoever else is here with the dogs, and we go and do our morning walk with the dogs and do a good pack walk. Eventually, Eileen will be able to come and join us on shorter versions of that, but that allows Eileen some time to settle down and be on her own. Then Puppy will come back, they'll have another little play in the garden, and then they both go in their crate for some alone time. Then they come out and we'll do a similar thing. When I'm working on some obedience stuff with Puppy, because hers is coming on leaps and bounds, she's so trainable, and she'll work for half an hour, no problem. Eileen will go back in and have some time on her own. Maybe she'll have some time with Rachel in the living room.
It's not necessarily
crate,
just alone crate time. So maybe if you're outside working with Puppy, then Eileen will sort of have a cuddle on the sofa or whatever with me.
Again, we're just being proactive.
Or be out in the garden by herself as well. She actually doesn't mind being out in the garden by herself. Yeah,
just proactively structuring it into our daily routine, being consistent with it and setting her up for success.
And also, again, sort of more exclusively to our particular circumstances, even then she won't be on her own. We have got Sully, we have got other dogs here all the time of her own age, because Sully sort of, he's getting to be an old man now, isn't he? He's not interested in playing with us so much, but Riley's here several times a week. So in terms of that, I'm not so worried. I'm more worried about night times by herself, but we're obviously just hoping that won't happen, and that also she'll be older then and more settled in herself anyway.
And separation anxiety is one of my specialties, so if that nighttime thing happens, I honestly think it will take me one night and I'll get through that, no problem. It'll be quite an easy modification plan to implement with her. So being proactive, and then if there is any downside, if it happens, I'll deal with it at that point. That's when I'll step in and my behaviourist stuff will come in.
Okay. That was, part A and part B of question 1. Question 2, I've had so many questions about this.
I don't know what this question is. I'm guessing it's about size.
It's not.
Oh, okay.
It's whether we're planning on breeding.
Oh, planning on breeding. Okay.
Yeah, are we planning on breeding Eileen? I've had people asking if we're planning on having mastadors with Sully, which we can definitely say we are not.
Unfortunately, Sully has had the... Yes. Now, I regret it for that reason.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think that mastadors might be the best dog breed in the world.
Ooh.
And there's a part of me, kind of with me being such an extremist, having the best line of mastadors in the world at our kennel, there's a scratch there. There's something simmering at the back of my mind, but it is just a scratch at the minute. There's no like formal plan. Let's get a mastiff so we can set up a kennel.
Yeah, in terms of actually breeding, genuinely we haven't decided. With mastiffs, I don't know if it's the same for all giant breeds. You are meant to wait longer before you new to them anyway. So we've been advised that we shouldn't consider neutering her before she's 2. So that means we've got 2 years to decide
if we ever were to do
it,
there'd have to be, again, me being a perfectionist, well then we have to be the best breeder in the world. It just can't be any other way. So health checks
we'd have to put ourselves in competition with Womlu, and I don't
Well, it wouldn't be,
think
because I wouldn't do English. I don't think I'd do English Mastiffs. The only way I'd do it is if I wanted to start my own line, and it might not even just be my own line of Mastadors. There is also me with the Asperger's
This is where
spinning.
I'm finding out so much information.
I just think it'd be really cool to come up with a new breed. I just think that'd be cool one day, to spend like 50 years crafting a new breed. Like the perfect family guardian is kind of what ticks in my mind.
The perfect family guardian.
For us, but for the common criticism would be that they're not as trainable and their energy levels make certain activities difficult. Adding a Labrador into that, I'm like, okay, cool. And then there's a couple of other breeds that I'm like, it'd be nice if you could sprinkle a bit of that in. And I get why people would get into wanting to create their own breed. I would find it. But the problem is, it would consume my life. The second I made that decision to do it, I would just become a fanatic of, I need to travel the world to find the best of each thing. And now I need multiple kennels for managing inbreeding. And I'll have to find it. It would just consume my life.
We're not there.
The niggle's there. The seeds tucked away at the back of my mind.
In answer to the question, do we plan on breeding Eileen? We don't know. Maybe. Yes, maybe.
Cool, maybe. Yeah. Maybe we could do it in collaboration with our breeder. I don't know if that's a thing. Like
breeder with one of their other dogs.
And like do it kind of together, that maybe the litter is here, but we kind of do it with them and with their expertise, but layer on kind of what we would do in terms of early training and socialisation. There might be like a fun thing to do there as like a one-off or something.
Because obviously all of their
like
dogs
a
aren't
Fenrir
related
cross
to each other.
Womlu collaboration litter, something like that would be fun if it worked and made sense. And we'd be super strict on who would have one. Open to ideas, and there's no rush, and we're years away from that, even if it was an option.
So that's the answer to that question. I think that's it.
Cool.
I'm leaning on your chair very casually.
You're just so casual. You're just so comfortable in front of camera these days.
I know, yeah. So that's it for today's Q&A. If you want to ask questions, leave them in the comments or follow us on Instagram. I was going to plug the Instagram, don't worry about that. At Eileen the Mastiff on Instagram. You can talk to me. I do my best to answer all the questions. We'll see you next time.
Cool. See you next video.